A lot of players like the idea of tanking, but never actually try it. Not because tanking looks boring, but because it feels intimidating. The responsibility, the routes, the fear of messing up and letting your group down. If any of this sounds familiar, I think midnight might actually be the best time to give tanking a real shot. This isn't a guide on how to tank perfectly. It's not about meta, parses, or pushing the highest keys. This is just my pitch for why tanking might be more accessible, more fun, and less stressful in Midnight than it's ever been. I'm gonna break it down to a few points, and hopefully, by the end of this, you'll be willing to give tanking a try in Midnight. For a lot of players, the scariest part of tanking isn't the rotation, it's the routes. Feeling like you're supposed to already know where to go, what to pull, and how to chain everything together. But in Midnight, in lower keys, especially keys from 2 to 5, Blizzard is introducing a route helper affix. The affix is called Lindormi's Guidance and will create a route for you. That changes everything. It means that you're allowed to learn inside the dungeon instead of memorizing everything beforehand. You don't need to be an expert on day one anymore. Now, how many of you are tired of standing around in Dornogal, queuing for a key and not getting in? As a tank, you don't spend all your time sitting in the hub city. No more refreshing group finder, no waiting for invites, no wondering if tonight's even worth logging in. As a tank, you get groups instantly. Your time goes into playing the game, not waiting to be allowed to play it. Another thing that surprises a lot of people is how fun tanking actually feels. Modern tank specs aren't passive, they're active, reactive, and busy. If you enjoy melee DPS, specs like Vengeance Demon Hunter, Protection Warrior, or Brewmaster Monk already feels very familiar. You're managing resources, you're pressing buttons constantly, you're responding to what's happening in front of you. It feels less like being a damage sponge and more like being a melee DPS with responsibility. As a tank, you control your own growth, and this part matters more than people realize. As a DPS, your progress often depends on other people, invites, group leaders, and external validation. As a tank, you control your own growth. You decide when to push higher keys, you decide when to practice, you decide the pace. That sense of ownership changes how the game feels. And yes, tanking still comes with responsibility. You're leading the pulls, you're setting the pace, and yes, sometimes you'll make mistakes. But with Midnight systems and with starting small, that responsibility will become confidence instead of pressure. I avoided tanking for a long time too, but when I finally gave it a shot, I realized it changed how I understood the game. I started paying attention to positioning, pacing, and what was actually happening around me, not just how much damage I was doing. And that awareness carried over into every role I played after. This game is simply in need of tanks, and you've probably felt that yourself, standing in Dornogal waiting for a group hoping a tank shows up. By choosing a tank, you're not just making the game more accessible for yourself, you're actually making it better for a lot of other people too. If you've ever thought about tanking but talked yourself out of it, Midnight might be the expansion to reconsider. And if you do decide to try it, start small. Let yourself learn, you don't need to have every answer. In a follow-up video, I'm going to go through all the tank specs in Midnight, not from a meta perspective, but from how they actually feel to pick up as a newer or hesitant tank. If that sounds useful, I'd love to have you around. Thanks for watching, and good luck tanking.